This week in the restroom, we get a rom-com on for a psycho ex-girlfriend turd from 2006. We've got CGI sharks, sexist dialogue, Jerry Springer girl fights, superhero hooker costumes, and actor Luke Wilson doing his best Owen Wilson through this mess like he received the script 10 minutes prior to shooting. It's My Super Ex-Girlfriend, and before we flush it, we're gonna take it out and play with it a little. Restroom Cinema. We're here to flush it, so you don't have to see it. Greetings, everyone. I am Honor Knight, your head cinematic flusher right here in the restroom. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-cinematic flushers, Midwest movie mogul Colleen Griffin.
Hey.
Raging Buddha B-movie queen Nora Crest.
What's up?
And sassy cinephile Sarah Polton.
Hi.
Our special guest this time out is currently on a speaking tour at various universities around the country regarding his research on slavery and the golden age of social history in America. He is also the creator and founder of the novel comics Alternate History with Superheroes. The first volume, Outbreak Mutiny, will debut in early April with issues 0 through 7. The trailers for these books are available at thenovelcomics.com. Please welcome author and historian Jay Sandlin.
Wow, you nailed all that. Oh boy, hey, I want to give a shout out for the University of Tennessee at Martin having me on April 1st to talk about my slavery topic. It'll be published, the abstract at least, will be published in the Journal of the University of Troy at Montgomery, and that'll probably be the farewell concert for that particular historiography.
Woohoo! Go slavery!
Awesome.
Oh, wait, that came out right.
Honor, that's because you're from Florida, Honor.
Let's kick off this flush with a round of Thunder Dump. Thunder Dump. I'll put 60 seconds on the restroom clock, and we're going to go around the cinematic bowl to see who has the worst alternate title for this week's cinematic turd. The loser will then get to read the RSS, that's Restroom Stall Stats, in a funny voice of my choosing. Here we go. Griff!
Sex, lies, and superhero capes.
Oh, man. Crest.
Single white female, the Supergirl edition.
Polton.
Sarah Polton's dating life for real.
I had my super menstrual cycle.
I hate you.
Oh, wait, we skipped over Jay. Jay, go ahead.
My Superman Returns cash grab.
All right, we'll go with that one. Griff?
OMG, girl, you can do better than Luke Wilson.
All right, not bad. Crest?
No one is dancing like Uma Thurman.
Yeah, all right. Polton?
Confident, mediocre white men.
Jay?
My Super X porno.
And to follow that up, I had Street Walking Wonder Woman. Griffin?
Woke up on the wrong side of Bedlam.
Crest?
Ladies riding Luke Wilson.
Oh, not bad. Polton?
Sharknado.
Jay?
You might not get this one. The Brandon Wrath of Uma.
That's not bad. And I had, does Uma Thurman got a choke a bitch? That's all right. That was a late. All right, that is time. All right, we ended on a real obscure note there for some people. Okay, a lot of bad ones, guys. This is not the greatest round of Thunder Dump. Yeah,
Isn't that kind of the point?
Yeah, that is kind of the point. I don't know who had the worst one, but we're gonna give it to Crest anyway. Because
okay.
Don't want to. Yeah, and Crest, the voice you're gonna do is a sexist pig. Basically, you're gonna read that in the most offensive way towards women as you possibly can, and this is not really coming from you.
Oh.
All right, good luck.
All right, Deo, hickory dickory dock, suck my dick, bitch. This is My Super Ex-Girlfriend. This is a 2006 American superhero comedy film, sorta. There's not enough tits in this. Directed by Ivan Reitman and starring Uma Thurman, total butterface, right? Luke Wilson, Anna Faris. I don't know what you fucking did to her lips, but stop that shit. It's disgusting. She looks like a blow-up doll. Eddie Izzard, Rainn Wilson, and Wanda Sykes. Like, we get it. You're a lesbian. Nobody wants to fuck you, all right? Writer Don Payne first conceived of this idea while he was in his bathroom, doing what we do, of his film while working on The Simpsons. Blah, blah, lots of shit about this guy. Who gives a fuck? And the filming took place over 4 weeks in New York, right? Because that's where fucking good shit happens. And then, the critics, they didn't fucking like it. There wasn't enough titties, like I said. Review aggregator site Rotten Tomatoes gives it only 40%. based on 128 reviews. I don't think that many people saw this movie. With an average rating of 5 out of 10. The site's consensus read, "My super ex-girlfriend is an only sporadically amusing spoof of the superhero genre. Oh, whiny. That misses the mark with a nerd-turned superwoman who embodies sexist cliches. Hey, everybody wants to see two girls fighting. Why didn't we get to see more of that? Why didn't we see the titties come out? I don't know." On a metric, another review aggregator gave the film a score of 50 out of 100. I think those guys had way too many boners when they were watching this. Based on 28 critics. I would like to meet these guys. It wasn't that good. Mixed average reviews. All right, whatever. Fuck this shit. There was no girl-on-girl action. Total bullshit. Fuck this film.
Okay. Easy, Tex. Easy.
The mic drop from Nora Dice Clay.
I think the mic drop
Wow.
on that one. All right, well, there you go, folks. That's your very colorful wrestling stats for, yeah, even Jay's shocked.
I don't know. I didn't know what I was stepping into tonight. That's awesome.
Right. Just when you thought Catwoman was the worst female superhero of all time, along comes this sexist turd just 2 years later. Man, oh man. Guys, if you're expecting the same Ghostbusters high quality of comedy from director Ivan Reitman once again, you'd better lower your expectations.
This is 11 years ago, though, too.
And the context is so important because it wasn't just that it was 11 years ago. It was 2006, which was the same year the Superman saga came back after about 20 years.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Well, G-Girl is just largely a pitch, like a very, I don't know, satirized Superman. It's almost felt like a not another teen movie genre.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got insulted by that, too, because people were so pumped about Superman coming back, and it was sort of the rebirth of, like, comic films at the time. And then this comes along, and it's just, like, just trashes the whole thing, essentially.
Well, I think this movie's success was almost predicated on Superman Returns being the tentpole for the beginning of a great new, like, Christopher Reeve era Superman.
Right.
You're right.
And if that had happened, I wonder if this film would have been better received.
It's interesting you bring up not another teen movie because maybe if they had gotten farther with making it a satire, they could have pulled it off.
It would have been better if they pushed the joke more.
And that was like next time we're talking about talented comedians. When you cast talented comedians like Anna Faris, Wanda Sykes, Eddie Izzard, even Rainn Wilson, you don't let them be funny. None of these people were funny in this film, and that's a huge problem from people that are naturally funny, especially Anna Faris and Wanda Sykes.
I thought Wanda was funny.
They attempted for her to be kind of a stereotype, but it worked.
I would have to disagree about it working because nothing about that role was Wanda to me. I felt like she was reading a script and anyone could have played the part.
We did it, right? Rob a Manhattan jewelry store in broad daylight like a bunch of amateurs? Yep, you did it right. First of all, who does that? And then who uses a town car as a getaway vehicle?
Oh my God.
It's the equivalent of using a trash truck to visit friends in the Hamptons. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not a vehicle that you would use to fucking get away. But so the film opens with a robbery, folks, and of course the superhero, and she's known as G-Girl. I'll get to that one second. Uma Thurman's flying into. She grabs the car and then takes it down to the police headquarters. People are screaming, G-Girl, G-Girl. Uma Thurman then is wired down onto the street, decked out in heels and a pleather skirt, like she's on her way to a 21 and under rave around the 2-minute mark. Is this what superheroes wore in 2006? I don't think so.
At the time, there was a lot of attempt to be realistic because of Batman Begins. That was the year before.
Yes, she's in heels, Jay. I mean, what the?
No, she's not just in heels. If I saw correctly, she was in like stiletto sandals with socks.
Accurate. No, she's wearing stockings with open-toed shoes, and it's unacceptable.
We got a lot of ladies on the show.
Unacceptable.
This movie was super sexist, but we've got so many ladies who have issues with this.
Jay, you want to?
No, I just have to point out that with the heels that Wonder Woman has been wearing them since the golden age of comics and still kicking ass.
It's a sexist outfit, and that sexist theme, folks, permeates the entire film for the next.
And also, it's not even a good outfit. I mean, that's really the problem. It's tacky. Uma Thurman is gorgeous, and then it doesn't even make her look really good.
No, it doesn't.
I think Paris Hilton was like the wardrobe consultant.
I would believe that, especially in 2006. Yes.
Yes.
And Paul, you were absolutely right. You never wear stockings with those sandaled heels.
Thank you.
Not that I would know, but I'm just.
That's
saying.
the only thing that I found very offensive about her outfit.
Right, so she drops the car down and saves the day and then flies off, and that's the opening scene, just to establish that there's a superhero in New York City. The ability to gratify myself orally, but wouldn't that be a little gay? I've asked myself that question on more than one occasion, but this is how we're introduced to our two leads here, Luke Wilson and Rainn Wilson, where they're checking out Miss Thurman on the subway.
So after that, I'm still not convinced this wasn't a prequel to Idiocracy.
You might be onto something.
You're right. Dude, check her out. Luke and Rainn Wilson bro do shit up on camera on the 3-minute mark. And if you melded both of them together, you might have one complete actor.
Rainn Wilson, I'm disappointed in him for this.
In context, this was about one season into The Office. I believe.
Yeah.
That started in 2005.
This was a paycheck. This was a paycheck and career move for him.
The Office, though, doesn't mean you're going to be funny in everything. You know that.
He's a good actor, and he's been not just funny but good.
Oh, he's very good, and I still miss Backstrom. I'm just going to say that for the super TV nerds out there that even know what show that was.
That was great.
I like Rainn Wilson. He never had a successful career. He never got it off the ground. He never got. I mean, he's done some good roles in films, but he's
still there. He's not like dead.
Like Spanish Moss is still there. That doesn't mean he's.
I hate to insult him, but I had written down 2000s Kramer.
You know what? You're not entirely wrong, but at the same time, like John Krasinski.
Well, I had written down. Do I think that Rainn Wilson should have been swapped for a slightly handsome actor, someone who has reasonable expectations to believe they can do the things they're saying?
Yeah, like me.
No, my Twitter is full of DMs from those guys.
There's like seriously, the rise of Twitter and the alt-right and stuff. A lot of these dudes do not.
Now maybe, but this was 2006. They didn't even have smartphones.
They were still around in 2006. I tell you.
Yeah.
Somebody stop that guy. Within 5 minutes of screen time, we get a jewelry store robbery and a purse snatching. Either New York City is overrun with crime, or we've time traveled back to 1978 Superman. A lot of pedestrian crime in this film. Like, you just don't see that shit anymore,
also,
right?
why are there no cops in the subway? I thought everywhere you go, there's cops, and then there's just none.
They have G-Girl.
Oh, right.
Thanks, Jay. Basically, G-Girl's purse gets snatched on the subway by some just bald dude. Actually, it's a Moby. Takes her purse.
No, it wasn't. It was. Please.
Wait, for a second, I was like, "What?"
It wasn't Moby.
That's some dude who's like hoping for an open mic at the Improv.
Ouch! Well, he takes off, but because she can't reveal her or Clark Kent alter ego, Mr. Luke Wilson goes after the purse snatcher, and ends up inadvertently getting it back, and then ends up in a dumpster. Now needs that next line. How about that cup of coffee? Because he asks her out. She says no on the subway, and then of course they have this meet cute outside the dumpster. First of all, who meet cutes in an alley dumpster? I guess that was my bullet point on that. It was a weird meet cute.
That's not the guy. Why would you shake his hand after he just crawled out of a dumpster?
Yeah.
He also. I didn't understand why the mugger, when the mugger was going after him in the dumpster, why he didn't just open the lid.
Yeah.
He starts banging on it with his metal pipe, like, you better come out, but it's just a plastic top. You can just pull it right open.
So he was literally trying to bang him out.
Oh, that sounded good.
Now this movie just took a whole other turn.
Jenny Johnson. Uma Thurman channels her inner Poison Ivy for most of the running time.
I like that.
Right.
She, I don't think, really has an angle on how to play the character. I think she just blew in here, did her line, took off. I cite her. Yeah, to a certain extent, you have to hold actors accountable for not trying to do the best with the material they're given. I don't think she really did. I think this is a paycheck movie, and I think she did it probably as a favor, because she really doesn't look like she's there. Why didn't you actually get a comedic actress to do this role?
She probably wanted something lighter, and she's funny.
Actually, she came off. Actually, this was right after The Producers.
And that was not.
No, it was not.
She did Kill Bill, and that was originally supposed to be Nicole Kidman. Yeah, actually,
she did Kill Bill. Vol 1 and Vol 2, and then she did Be Cool, which we all know was great, and then something called Prime, which nobody saw. The Producers, and then
I did. I saw it in the fucking theater. God.
All right.
I had a DVD copy of that at one point, actually, but I never watched it.
We're sharing our secret shame.
You got to understand, she already played a superhero as Kill Bill. She's already done this kind of like, so this, she should have been able to plug into this immediately. And for some reason, she doesn't. There's a big disconnect.
Actually, I think that was the problem, is that she was trying to play a more severe character than the script called for, which may have caused this imbalance we're talking about.
The thing is, he did kind of gaslight. Okay, we'll get to it.
No, I think you were about to say, if Anna Faris, for instance, had played G-Girl and played her like her crazy neurotic character in Just Friends.
Oh my God, she was so good in that.
Yeah, we're going to get to her right now. Hey, Hannah, the talented Anna Faris shows up around the 8-minute mark as Wilson's coworker, and apparently Ivan Reitman only wanted her to showcase her talent for being a blonde office hottie. My God, she basically, she's there as just eye candy.
It's so gross.
There's a line that follows up because now the sexist stuff starts coming in. And Luke Wilson's a really bad creeper to keep looking at her the way he's doing. Next line is Wanda Sykes actually calls him out. She says, "What are you doing?" And I said, just being a typical sexist pig by checking out Faris's hot ass. Of course, I'm a sexist pig for just the way I phrase that, but I'm not in the movie, so I can say that. But that's the way the shots.
Honestly, the way they frame that, you're not wrong.
The makeup department also dialed back on Faris's trademark eyeshadow so much she's barely recognizable on camera. She looked really different on her trademark.
I thought that the whole time. I thought she looked like she had been in a fire.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Jay, all right.
Not like third-degree burns. I'm just saying it looked like she lost her eyebrows.
Wow, we got the right guest for the show tonight. All right.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're
Speaking of fires.
Yeah, no shit. I'm going to be putting out some later. But you're right, actually, Jay. She doesn't look right in the film because of you're used to that. And she wears that because she feels her eyes disappear into her head. And she's actually right. I wish they just had let her do what she wanted to do with the makeup. Polton, anybody want to, am I the only one here that's just am I just mansplaining this up or?
As usual.
No, am I right? But I don't think I'm wrong on that. Right?
Are you asking me if Anna Faris's eye makeup is janky?
Yeah, you know why we're not even commenting either? If we're going to be superficial.
I'm not being superficial.
No. Let me finish. Because we know she got her lips done. And it's so obvious.
Accurate.
And it's so weird.
I did not know.
And we can't. Dude.
I didn't. So you guys want to drop that?
You didn't notice that? Come on. Everybody in the world noticed that she got her lips done. They're finally almost deflated now.
That kind of muted her eyebrows versus the lips, the attention on that.
I thought she looked great.
I didn't notice the lips, guys. Maybe I should. I was so shocked by her eyes. Because I'm so used to her wearing a high shadow and having her eyes pop out like that. When I didn't see it, I was really
it's the lips.
You are lucky this time, Mr. Bottom Watcher. You've cast the often hysterical comedian Wanda Sykes in your film, and all you can saddle her with is lame lines like this one. I don't understand why you cast these improv-worthy actors like Sykes and Anna Faris especially, and don't let them off the chain.
It's Anna.
Jesus Christ. All right,
You're going to say her name 14 times during the podcast. It's Anna Faris.
Am I bothering you? Actually, yes. You're bothering us with that horrible brown tribble attached to the top of your head at the 10-minute mark. Why did they give Uma Thurman, and Chris, you should know that, the worst wig, a wig that looks like it was literally picked up at a dollar store and stuck it on her head for most of the
The wig is awful, but just for the record, I don't wear wigs, so I'm not a super expert. My grandma wore wigs, but
it's a costume truck.
No,
wig.
This is sincerely this is like Halloween store.
It's a terrible wig.
I thought that was supposed to be intentional because it was like a bad disguise, maybe. Almost to make fun of like the Clark Kent, never being recognized.
Okay, and I see where you're tying back to not another teen movie because the glasses thing.
Right. Because that's all Kyler needed. That's all Kyler Lee needed was to take her glasses off and then she's beautiful.
But Jay, you're right. It wasn't pushed far enough to be that effective. I know what they. I understand what you're. I don't think it was pushed far.
It was bad wig. It was bad wig, but it wasn't like Samurai Cop bad. They should have gone further. Yes.
Yeah, they should have. There's some big fire at 73rd and Broadway. A big CGI fire, for that matter.
Oh my God, that was the worst.
Really expecting a $30 million budget at the 11-minute mark. I guess that they had a date, right? They're on a first date.
Can we talk about like her conversation with him? Oh, we're gonna have sex, and we are.
It was just kind of indicating to me that she had no social skills, but I didn't see why that was part of her character at any other point in the movie.
That's what I'm like on a first date, but like after that, then never mind.
Okay.
Well, I have to pee a lot Yeah, all right. You know what?
But what I don't understand is they give you the back. She gives Luke Wilson her whole backstory, and we're not. Well, I guess I'm skipping ahead.
Not hanging. $30 million budget. It should have looked a lot better.
Well, it's 2006, so it's 11 years ago. I'm just thinking with the technology that they had, it was decent for the time. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They can set shit on fire now, and it looks, way better. So
we have people whose salaries were actually high at the time. Anna Faris was up and coming, but Luke Wilson was very hot at the time. Uma Thurman, very hot at the time.
Yeah,
and even Eddie Izzard was just gaining relevance in the U.S. at the time.
We haven't gotten to him yet, but we're coming up. All right, so obviously the A-line budget, most of the budget went to the actors. It's a shame, too, because there's very little production left at the end of the day here. Why do you think they call her G-Girl? Then he says, what about G-Spot?
I can't believe it took that long.
It's I don't know what the minute mark on. It's after 11 minutes. It's pretty early, and it did take that long to get. G-Girl is a terrible superhero name.
It's
I guess
so dumb.
It's so all right. Dumb. And we never knew what it means, right? We never found out what it actually.
I was going to ask
No, there's
you
not.
guys.
There was not. No.
I'm gonna go with G-Spot then. All right. She sounds like a nutcase, as most women do, actually. All right. Well, there's my sexist comment for the show. Not even worth the hail.
Sticking to one tonight, Honor? Just one.
All right, let's keep moving. And I cite that out and I made the joke because all of this dialogue is incredibly sexist, even for 2006. This is brutal. It's really uncomfortable. I say uncomfortable in quotes, but it's archaic. Maybe that's the.
You know what's uncomfortable is those sex scenes.
They're so awful. It's like, no.
Important question. Am I doing sex wrong? Is that what you do in bed? Because I don't think I've been doing it right.
No.
Exactly. Hey, Saunders, that woman is in trouble. Not as much trouble as this horrible rom-com music they keep cramming onto the soundtrack for transition scenes. This dude who's singing sounds like he recorded all of his songs inside a Starbucks. Really bad, generic.
Everything's so bad.
This is shit nobody listened to in 2006. Okay, nobody did.
I was going to say I really liked the music.
Nobody but Jay listened to this shit.
Jay, do you like Nickelback? You probably do.
Nickelback I was in the 9th grade when How You Remind Me went to the top of the VH1 music charts, and I was taking guitar lessons, and yes, I thought they were awesome.
Jay, it's been nice having you on the show. Neurotic women are hellcats in bed. Woo! Rainn Wilson should be wearing a t-shirt that says sexist pig, since everything that comes out of his mouth was picked up at a local strip club. Again, if it was funny, I don't think I'd have a problem with it. But Rainn Wilson should be able to do something with that dialogue. I don't understand if he was just not trying, if it was a paycheck movie, or he just, honestly, they told him, no, you had to read the script as written. Because all of these actors should be able to elevate what they have here.
Well, here's the thing. It must not have been too bad.
Okay.
Because he starred in Ivan Reitman's son's movie.
Did he really?
Years later, Juno.
Oh, you're right. He did do Juno. Okay. I guess. But I had a problem with that film too. But he's the most noticeable because he has the most sexist dialogue in the entire film of everybody. All the men here look really bad in this film, guys.
Can we just throw one word out here about Mark Consuelos? Because nobody's mentioning him as the boyfriend of Anna Faris' character.
I didn't realize that
But let me just say, first of all, he has the ultimate lesbian haircut with this little lesbian mullet.
He did, actually.
The thing that I noticed the most is that Anna Faris is so fucking short. She makes Mark Consuelos look like he's a normal-sized human, and he's tiny.
Anna Faris is tiny. She was wearing heels in that scene
Mark
too, by the way.
Consuelos, also known as Kelly Ripa's husband.
Now, do what I do. What I wouldn't be doing is kissing Luke Wilson, who looks like a cleaned-up version of a Garbage Pail Kid. Like this guy. He looked really bad in this film, and now this is where they actually kiss. She gets him back to, I guess, his place, and he doesn't know how to kiss for some reason, which is
she
really
tells him that too.
Yeah, she does tell him that, but he just doesn't look well. And
he looks hungover for the majority of this movie.
Well, maybe he was drinking at the time, and he was hungover. I don't blame. But then again, if you had it on the day you have to kiss Uma Thurman, I think you would kind of shore it up a little bit and pull it together. But even there, he looks half-assed. He's half-assing through the scene. And it's kind of gross, dude. But then, that's my Luke Wilson comment.
His face looks bloated. He's got the
bloat face. And that was before we saw what bloated Luke Wilson really looked like.
Wow. He was just so bland in this. He's so.
But you know what? I will say he was brilliant in Royal Tenenbaums. he should have done more work like that.
I wish he had, not be saddled with. First of all, he was miscast. I think they could have got another actor that could have handled this material rom-com-y a little better than he does.
I always thought they wanted him because he was so he was kind of tough acting and old school but funny.
Right, and this was coming off of also like
it was coming off of old schoolish, and people thought of him in that role, kind of like, I guess, a leader that gets into these crazy situations like dating a superhero.
Are you ready? We're definitely not ready for this awkward sex scene around the 23-minute mark that involves Uma Thurman wrecking shit out of Wilson's bed. Colton, is this pretty much how it goes?
I don't think I understand sex. I don't think I understand the sex that's happening. I thought I knew what sex was, but after watching this scene, I don't think I know what it is. Like, if you were to show a kid this and say, like, this is what sex is, I think that for the rest of their lives, they'd be scarred. Yeah. I don't know what I just saw.
This is like the opposite of what should be happening. If she's riding him properly and she's trying to get an in and out motion, she's slamming him into the wall in the out motion. Right? That's like the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. I'm a lesbian and I know that. Okay, that's how terrible this choreography is.
It also ruined the Santana song "Oya Como Bop."
Yeah, we got Santana music. There's 2 songs in this film,
and I love that song, man.
Not anymore. It's a really weird scene. It's not funny. That's the first issue, and honestly, like Chris said, it's a reverse thrust. So how are you able to pull the bed away from the wall and then slam it back into the wall? You'd be going the other way, right? If she was doing a reverse cowgirl, that would have made sense.
And also, like, kind of makes sense why he's like, I can't do this. Like, he physically
also,
cannot.
He also
do
said
this.
that she broke his penis, and she's like, I'll get you a new one. Like.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Is that how that works? Can you do that? Hold on.
Actually, you can.
If there was a way for a man to get a new penis, that would be lines around the block.
I gotta make some phone calls. Hold on.
I just wish it was a funnier scene. I get the concept of the scene. It's obviously just
It could have been funny.
So it could have been funny if it was over the top, maybe.
But Jay, you keep circling back to that. If the material was pushed a little farther, this all would have worked. It would have clicked, but they just didn't go. They just didn't let the actors do.
Right, that was an instance. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one. That was a great instance of that where this could have been the scene everybody would have been talking about in 2006. The superhero sex scene.
Instead, it was just uncomfortable.
It's awkward and uncomfortable. It's a great way to wreck your wall. I kept, as you get older, you start looking at the monetary stuff, and when the wall was getting fucked up, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to cost a fortune.
That's what I thought too. I was like, especially in New York, why would you want to go on another date with her?
If someone broke my Crate and Barrel bed, I swear to God, I would lose my mind.
Somebody banging you into the wall, fuck up your bed. Yeah, exactly. You would lose your.
You better get some more Sleepy Hollow Blue and paint this up, buddy.
You invaded the female nation and spread your democracy. Oof. 1985 called. They'd like their sexism back, please.
I mean, hello. His biggest hit is Ghostbusters. So, I mean.
Professor Bedlam. This is what you get when you cast Eddie Izzard in your film and you don't have him in drag. 26-minute mark.
I hate you.
No, it's true though. He's funnier in drag. He's the guy.
No, he's amazing.
Talented. No matter what he's wearing, it has nothing to do with his talent.
I think he's funnier. He's funnier in drag, but that's a side.
But see, this movie wasn't a total comedy. That's the problem. It's not.
Yeah. So how are you gonna? Oh, if Eddie Izzard had been in drag, this movie would have been amazing.
I agree.
We're circling back to what Jay and I were mentioning.
But then the whole plot line then doesn't work.
No,
that they're created with this character.
Still would have worked. I think you could have made this work, and I disagree with that because you have to push the material as far as you can to get the results that you want, and they don't go there. Especially when you cast Eddie Izzard, who's known for being
he was miscast.
I agree with that. Help! Call the park services. So I guess I'm gonna recap the plot. Eddie Izzard is the supervillain. He has a camera on. He's spying on Uma Thurman's character to get information because he wants to take her down. We don't know why yet. It's coming up. As a result, they have Eddie Izzard abducts Luke Wilson and then strings him up on the Statue of Liberty when it doesn't get the information he wants. Luke Wilson says, help, call the park services. And then I said, anyone want to hazard a guess as to how they got Wilson up onto the arm of the Statue of Liberty to hang him upside down? First of all, aren't there enough buildings in Manhattan to accomplish this at the 28-minute mark? There's no way that even it would be logistically possible. But
unless he had like Wonder Woman's invisible jet or something.
well, that could be. So anyway, but Miss Uma Thurman has to come rescue him when he falls, and she drops him down, but he doesn't figure out they're both the same person. Well, that's coming up, unless it's one of those crying game things. Because why just defend women?
Why?
Let me finish the line. Because why just defend women in your superhero rom-com when you can make fun of chicks with dicks as well? Okay, maybe I didn't make that any better. But it's it stands. You're basically going across the board here, and it's PG-13 film, and I'm going to cite that when we get to it. Why it's a PG-13 film with low ball jokes like this that aren't funny to begin with. Now, I didn't make it any funnier with my joke, but that was the point. When you have this type of material. Nobody? All right, anybody? Okay, God damn it, guys. I got to insert crickets on all of this. All right, thanks. Say, you'd rather have a chainsaw shoved up your ass than tell. Basically, what happens is she reveals her true identity to Luke Wilson, not Owen Wilson. As a result, she makes him promise to never tell her secret identity. Of course, guess what? He's going to end up blowing that shit out a little bit later on. But as a result, right here, they're all meet cutie and fun. Barry Edward Lambert, because what this sexist superhero rom-com really needed was an unnecessary flashback around the 34-minute mark. Hey, we all love flashbacks. In fact, we just talked about that last week.
Actually, I thought the flashback was the best part of the movie.
Oh, look at you, turncoat.
I turned on what? What does it matter if I care that like a segment was better?
Don't touch it, because you'll turn into a stereotypical hot blonde chick with superpowers. All right. So basically,
I could have used one of those in high school, man.
Yeah, Paul, didn't you get one of those?
Right?
Apparently, the villain, the Ezzy Izzard character, and the Uma Thurman character went to high school together, and they were really good friends. And one night they were hanging out, and a meteorite crashes into the fucking forest. She touches it.
They weren't hanging out. They were about to have sex.
Yeah.
No, seriously. She says in the thing that she wanted to lose her virginity that night, and he was like the best pick because he's nice.
Harmless enough.
Yeah.
Well,
so they were about to have sex, and then the meteor crashes to the earth.
Professor Blue Balls.
Yeah.
So the meteorite blows up, and she gets superpowers, and he doesn't. And of course, because now she has this new confidence and I should say, and these new powers, she basically leaves him in the dust, and he becomes bitter, and just like the Mr. Glass character later on in Shyamalan's Unbreakable. Is this what you had in mind? Cinemax superhero sex fantasy? Damn straight. 38-minute mark. That's what he whispers, like what he wants, and she goes and some other slutty ass outfit that doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, on a technical note, guys, where the hell are all these wind fans coming from? And where can I get one for my hair?
You gotta ask J-Lo. You gotta ask J-Lo for that.
Not many superheroes have that many variants of their costume.
But they're all equally like ill-equipped.
Jay, you gotta admit though that between DC and Marvel, they change their costumes up every 6 months, I think, because
they do change them up. But you don't change them on a daily basis. They only change in they change in increments. Basically, when you want to sell a book for a certain reason, you'll put Spider-Man back in his black costumes.
You're right. I've always wanted to try this. Fucking a dude at 10,000 feet? Who doesn't? That was his fantasy to be, I guess.
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, that would be a no for me, too. I made the joke, who doesn't? But that's a little creepy when you take your boyfriend up 10,000 feet and then try to screw him. It was
like kind of like assaulty.
Very rapey.
I kind of thought she was sharing some intimacy with him, and it was maybe trying to be a racier version of the original Superman movie. The scene, how do you read my mind?
Okay, yeah, I see where they were going with that. You're right.
Maybe they did that to point out how it was kind of rapey.
But they mixed it. But I think they missed their mark on this one, and it just comes off as super rapey.
He's like freaking out. Like, nah, anatomy does not work that way. Like,
no, my erection would have been gone. I'm telling you right now, guys. There's no way when I get up that high.
Like, unless she slipped him like a Cialis.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Hide your drinks.
That was a deleted scene.
Yeah. Hey, how'd you do that? Was anyone else turned on by Anna Faris sucking Wilson's finger around the 42-minute mark?
No.
That's not how you get out of Splinter. I'm going to throw this out there. I've never tried that.
Also, how many times do you have to practice that until you're good at it?
Were they trying to rip off My Best Friend's Wedding when he does that with the ring? Because it works much better then.
Yes.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right on that. Good job, Jay, with the win again. Damn, Jay.
Thank you.
It's a great job, Jay. No, you're absolutely right on that one. Okay, so there you go, Jay, with the win on that one. Are you surprised that my superhero girlfriend is really a jealous stalker? No, not really. So,
but see, this is where I have the contention with the backstory, because she's like this nice, cute, nerdy girl, and then just because all of a sudden she gets boobs, she's a fucking asshole. Like, I don't even understand that. It doesn't make sense.
With the moment with boobs, what the hell was that?
I know, but can I just say something? As a person who hit puberty late, not until almost my sophomore year of high school, I got boobs, and I didn't walk around and all of a sudden everybody was like, "Damn, girl, you got some boobs. Now you cool."
Dude, I
didn't
get boobs until college.
When I got my boobs, they were
those are called moobs, Honor. They don't count as breasts.
Look,
in Alabama, we just call them man boobs.
Yeah.
I didn't grow boobs until I was 19, and I can confirm I was a bitch the whole time.
That explains a lot. All right, we got our boobs, but yeah, you're right. You're right about this. She does become kind of an asshole.
It's just it doesn't make any sense. Like, she's a normal person, and then the meteorite made her like psycho.
So anyway, she's jealous of Anna Faris. They all go out to dinner together because she insists on that. And as a result, there's a missile that gets away from something that is heading towards New York. It's going to kill everybody. Luke Wilson's desperately trying to get her, Uma Thurman, to go out and deal with it, but she doesn't want to, deal with it. But she finally does, and there's a line on the news that says, "It's G-Girl. She's approaching the missile in the worst."
And by the way, that news anchor is Ivan Reitman's daughter.
Crest, a really bad CGI in that sequence, though, on the TV. Like, really, just
where
the budget starts running out, guys. By
it's not even. I don't even know what the excuse is at this point. I mean, it's just awful. And also, this is where another reference in this film where they're not camping it up enough. The news anchor's like, "There's a missile headed straight towards us, everyone. Just shelter in place." Oh, just kidding. Now here's the end. It's like this should have been so like airplane-esque, over the top.
Yeah, Again, like Jay said, if you push the material, it would have been.
We've just written already a better film.
This was also the point in the movie where I noted that she had used all of Superman's powers with heat vision.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Jay, would you agree that all the superpowers are really just lifted from Superman, right? I mean, she has all the same shit.
They were directly lifted from Superman, and that went along with the Superman Returns film. Even the meteorite in the previous scene, Superman's allergic to kryptonite. Right. So that'll be important later.
You and that slut from your office. So now it's Thurman's time to be sexist.
It's not sexist. It's just single white female. Like psycho hosies.
No, but it's not even that, because on a level, she's right.
She's right. That's the part that made me so mad. Everyone said she was crazy, but you know what?
Why is she right? What?
He did, because he did want to fuck her. He was in love with her.
And he was he did want to fuck her. When she says to him, though, she goes, "Oh, I see. It's not that that you don't want to fuck her. You can't, because she has a boyfriend."
Yeah, right. There we go.
That was true.
Right.
I've had that verbatim conversation.
It was like gaslighting.
I love you so much. Uma Thurman consistently comes off as a crazy loon throughout the running time, which makes her both unfunny and unlikable. I think let's address that. There's not one likable character in this film. Can we all agree on that?
I kind of like Anna.
But she's a victim. She's a victim for most.
Innocent bystander for the most part.
She's a protagonist.
Okay, we'll go with bystander. All right, but there's no likable character. That's the problem. When your leads aren't likable, that's a problem, guys. When Uma Thurman's an asshole and Luke Wilson's an asshole and Rainn Wilson's an asshole, like, who are you gonna root for? Unless you're an asshole yourself, and then
I'm gonna root for Andrew Wilson.
He's not even in this. All right. There are two ways you can break up with a woman. Never take a relationship advice from Rainn Wilson. He lays that out about how to break up, because now Luke Wilson agrees that Uma Thurman may be a little unhinged, and he has to break up with her. So Rainn Wilson now is going to give advice as to how to break up with her. And his advice is so fucked up, it doesn't even make any sense. Well, number one is like, "Hey, I'm breaking up with you." And number two is, "I'll take you out to dinner, and then I'll break up with you."
No,
Has
anybody have sex with you and then break up with you?
Oh, I gotta go to Polton, because she's been through the ringer on a lot of this. Have you had this both ways?
I don't think I've ever had the dinner breakup. I've had the text message steal your underwear breakup.
Oh.
And I've had the phone call breakup.
Ouch.
I once watched an entire movie with a girl and then took her to the parking lot where her car was and broke up.
Oh, Oh, was that you or did she break
Wait,
up
was
with
that you? Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
I was
broke-
gonna say, did I date you in college? I got the the Valentine's Day breakup.
I broke up with her, but it was only because she said she loved me after 2 weeks.
I'm sorry I said I love you too soon, but I was just really feeling it.
I saw her years later, and she was insane, so it was all right.
You dodged a bullet on that one, but yeah,
Your
guys.
story's adding
No
up here.
guilt. No guilt. Zero
Okay.
guilt.
All right. So
I loved how Owen approached it, though.
Well, what was it? All right.
Oh, in
Owen-
the middle of making dinner? Oh,
Oh,
boy.
you mean Luke?
Oh,
You
boy.
mean Luke? Was that
Jason,
a Freudian slip?
Did I say Owen? You know what? That was a Freudian slip.
I think if Owen was in this film, it would have been a better film.
I think you said that earlier, and I've been picturing him in the film ever since.
Are you breaking up with me? If you're thinking this film would be over the 51-minute mark, think again, guys. You are still going to regret this. We're already regretting watching Uma Thurman having a full-on superhero meltdown over Wilson's lame breakup excuse. Again, we just talked about lame breakup excuses. That's what he does here. She busts up his shit in his apartment.
She said, "Oh no, I'm not gonna break up with you," but JK.
He began the conversation with, "I'd like to reevaluate our relationship."
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can say, Jay.
You
That is
do
the
a
worst.
yeah, Jay. You do a good look, Wilson.
You're right. She's totally just deranged, off her rocker, crazy. Pretty much a stock answer when it comes to describing ex-girlfriends. Again, I know it's a sexist line that I just said, but that's what everybody says. Everybody just wants to default that women are just unbalanced, and that's not fair. Because if they're unbalanced, it's probably because the guy made them unbalanced.
Well, we already know that Luke Wilson is a shitty kisser, so that's already bad. And then
because he doesn't flick his tongue.
yeah,
That was
and then
gross.
on top of that, clearly he doesn't know how to do the sex because these women have to keep getting on top of him.
Right, he's fucking lazy and
He's,
dead. So,
yeah, and he's got like a
Right.
dad belly too, like super.
He actually
Dude,
did. I
when
noticed that.
when he was taking off his shirt, I was like,
I saw that. Wanda Sykes wanders on screen for yet another unfunny scene around the 57-minute mark. In case you're wondering, folks, she disappears until the 57-minute mark. Damn, that's a shame. That and again, they troll. She's the HR person in the office and not given anything really interesting to do. That's real mature. Writing "suck you" on Wilson's car. Film couldn't afford an F with a $30 million budget.
okay,
Fuck you.
suck you. It's you suck.
It should have been "fuck you," and I don't understand why they didn't do that.
Because it's not Deadpool, okay?
No, PG-13. You can have one fuck, right, in the film. I
No,
believe
back in
it was-
2004.
No, you can't have any
Or
fucks in the film.
2006.
Oh,
No.
really?
Fuck
Oh,
equals
right,
rated R.
Well, "suck you" is a
That-
terrible thing to put on the folks.
That's why I give no fucks for PG-13.
So basically, she has a meltdown. And she takes Luke Wilson's car and throws it up into space, and then crashes through his roof again. God, that poor guy. Can you tell me why you're wearing that hat, or why you're wearing the hat? I'm sorry. Because the writer and director thought this would be funny, but it's not. 10 at the hour-minute mark. So basically, Uma Thurman's making his life a living hell because she broke up with her because he really is in love with Anna Faris. And did I say it right?
You did.
Whew. And he wants to be with her. So as a result, he's putting him through the ropes and all this stuff. And she shows up at his apartment and burns the word "dick" into his forehead, which I thought was marginally funny. But then
that was kind of amazing.
it was kind of funny, but then he has to go into work the next day because he has to give a big presentation for his clients, and he has to wear this awful hat. He could have come
That
up
was
with
actually like the least of the. That was the worst option he could have come up with. I mean,
that's the worst. Okay,
you can't fake an injury maybe with some bandages.
You are one sick bastard. Well, not you, Jay. Well, at least we get some Luke Wilson ass in this turn, ladies. You're welcome. Nobody was.
Thank you.
Nope.
No, it was a pretty nice ass.
I'm
No.
good. I'm so fine.
That's going to be a
It's
no
not.
for
It's
me,
not
Doc.
Chris Hemsworth's ass or Chris
No,
Pratt's
but-
ass.
It's not Charlie Hunnam in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh,
Sarah knows exactly what
oh
I'm
boy.
talking about.
I got to lay
No.
down. Hold on.
You've been a really good friend of me, Saunders. Rule number 1, guys, never fuck your friends. So as a result, he does break up. He goes to Anna Faris, I'm sorry, to see her because he's really been in love with her all the time. She's been dating that guy who's married to Kelly Ripa, Mark Consuelos. And he basically says, that guys, you don't fuck your friends. That's a standard rule, I think.
I
No.
thought she was implying that she just had affection for him. It
That's
wasn't
what-
so much like you're a close friend or you're in the friend zone, which is where my mind goes when I hear
you're
that.
right. Yeah, no, that's what I thought too. I thought they were just in a friend zone, but apparently, she ends up having feelings for him, which is rare. Usually, it's the other way around. Like the guy has the feelings, and the girl's like, "Oh, we're just friends," and that's what I said. You never fuck your friends. If you're just gonna be friends. But all right. So basically, he lays it all out for them, and she returns the favor. She says, "Okay, you're right," and they have this. They start kissing and they start fucking, which is kind of weird.
Like almost fully clothed, which
Yeah,
is totally
you know,
normal, especially like
she was wearing her like shorts, and you can clearly see her panties underneath, the granny panties underneath, because Anna Faris was like, "No fucking way."
Well, but it's not just that. It's like her tank top and everything, and they're rolling around in the sheets fully clothed.
Nobody does
It's
that.
so awkward. It's so
it is.
awkward.
Obviously, nobody wanted to be naked in this scene, and it's a PG-13, so you really couldn't do that. But they hook up, and they spend the night, and the next morning they wake up, and we get this line: "I hate you, Matt Saunders." This Sharknado moment around the hour and 8 minute mark. There you go.
Oh,
This shark is
God.
awful.
Courtesy
It's
of the
awful.
Sci-Fi
I
Channel.
felt so bad for the shark.
First of all, the shark would already be dead. It'd already be dead.
And also,
That was my first thought too.
Was it
There's a-
smelling bodily fluids
Hold
instead
on.
of blood?
If G Girl truly wanted to kill him, why wouldn't she throw an animal that walks on land?
You're
She
absolutely
could go to
She
the
could've thrown
zoo
a-
and
she
get a
could've thrown a
tiger, get a lion.
rhinoceros or something.
She get land shark.
So she throws a CGI shark, which would have been dead, into their apartment, and of course it wreaks havoc. Sharknado stuff, folks. And
Did
that's why I
anybody
say shark.
else think that scene was just made for the trailer?
Oh, you're right.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Do you think flowers are going to make me forgive you? Sure we do. Women be dumb. That's all right. Besides, flowers aren't cheap, guys.
What?
There you go.
I think my apartment is full of flowers right now.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think Sarah Poland has a shit ton of flowers in her place right now. She's
I
been
literally do.
showing photos of
What
it.
are
on
you trying to
Facebook.
say? What are you trying to say? What are you
Um,
trying to say?
I think I just said it. So here's the deal. Eddie Izzard wants to depower Miss Uma Thurman. He has a big rock, a meteorite rock, which apparently will drain the power, just like kryptonite from Superman, from Uma Thurman back into the rock, so he can kind of get the power. Anyway, to do that, he needs Owen Wilson. There you go. Thanks, Jay. He needs Luke.
Yes, but sorry about that. Technically, in the comic books, gold kryptonite is the variant that strips Superman of his powers.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! I should put the alarm.
That's actually the whole reason
I
you
thought it was
came on
green
the podcast. So way to alienate your guest.
It's okay. I could really get embarrassed by going on to say
Oh.
that, red makes him angry, green
No,
makes him
right,
weak,
right,
blue
yeah.
makes him.
Go circle back to the gold thing, because we're used to the green kryptonite. That's all I've really heard
Right,
about.
right. Well, that's what you see in the original Superman, that Lex Luthor makes him basically fall down and he's powerless and he can't move and they try to drown him. But losing her powers was different. Or was it? No, because that comes at the very end. But yeah, that was Superman's thing. So this was kind of touched on it again.
Again, lifted directly from the Superman.
Right. And Superman Returns, the same year, they used the kryptonite as well. They made that big, awesomely huge chunk of it. So.
Oh my God, you're G Girl. No shit. How does everyone not recognize Thurman under that crappy Dollar Tree wig and glasses at the hour and 18 minute mark? Guys, even Luke Wilson should have picked up on the
she's
fact.
fully clothed and not in cheap lingerie, so it'd be easy to miss that she's not G Girl. So.
It's only when people see the costume that they think she's G Girl. That's true.
But the costume keeps changing. That's the other point. She keeps changing costumes.
Exactly. I said that earlier, so it makes no sense why people would recognize her then.
It doesn't. She keeps saying one hooker outfit after another. It doesn't make any sense.
I was going to say, I change my outfit every day, and people still seem to know who I am.
Exactly.
Who knows?
But superheroes are a brand.
She's a terrible brand.
Exactly.
She
That's
really
the
is.
problem.
She's
Yeah,
branding
they don't
herself
brand her.
terribly.
The movie could have branded her, and that would have given it more of a superhero identity for the geeks like me.
Hey, let go of my boyfriend, you crazy bitch. Because apparently one crazy superhero girlfriend wasn't enough. We're now going to add a second one around the hour and 21 minute mark just to fill out the running time. So as a result, he works with Professor Bedlam to lure Uma Thurman to his apartment so he can suck the superpowers from her and drain it back into the meteorite. Follow me on this, folks. And as a result, they both, and somehow everybody ends up touching the meteorite. It explodes
except for
again.
Eddie Izzard. He doesn't touch it.
Yeah, right. As a result, both Anna Faris, and Uma Thurman get her powers back. It's just
Anna for some reason becomes a ginge.
Those are the rules of these magic.
You got a blonde wig and a red wig. With a red wig's terrible. Girl fight because this is how all Jerry Springer domestic disputes over sex men should be settled. There's a big fight scene they have. It's terrible CGI. It's terribly executed. There's no reason for it at this point in the film. But all right, we're gonna let this play out over the next several minutes. Watching the red wigged Anna Faris on wires with the blonde wigged Uma Thurman.
They weren't even on wires. It was just really bad CGI.
It was kind of like a battle of the Twisters.
Oh my God, yes. Except Twister was awesome.
I wish they started making out. It would have been a better film, but all right.
Everybody wanted that.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. Yes, they did.
The filmmakers knew we wanted that, so why would not?
Give it to us? Why didn't they just give it to us? Give us one makeout scene, and we would have been happy.
They thought you would rather see the mile-high sex change. I guess.
Oh my God.
This guy, he's got a shrine of you in his house, which makes him completely dateable and not crazy at all at the hour and 25-minute mark. So it turns out that Luke Wilson is, all he has to do is get Eddie Izzard turned on to Uma Thurman. Instead of being arch enemies, they can be just lovers.
No, I knew that it was she ditched him.
Would you date someone who has a shrine of you in their house?
No.
That seemed like an odd selling point.
Well, except for Polton May.
Is that weird?
All right. So one of the
it makes sense that the Uma Thurman character would find that endearing because she's a psycho. So
she's unhinged.
She is unhinged. I mean, the character's unhinged. So she'd be like, you made a shrine and you stole my hair and you sniffed my underwear? This is fabulous. I love you. Let's get married.
You're a little scared of me in that god-awful red wig? You should be. That's a terrible... She was wearing a really terrible...
It's awful.
It's a terrible red wig. And just guys, costuming guys.
That looked like a bad Pippi Longstocking,
She's such a gorgeous woman. I think she's a gorgeous blonde.
I agree with you.
And I'm glad she stopped messing with her lips.
You want a hand? Looking like a superhero hooker in the final moments of the film? Sure. We haven't been sexist enough, apparently. So at the end of the result, they both have superpowers, Miss Anna Faris and Uma Thurman. They transform into superhero hooker outfits again, and then fly off to save the day while the men hold the purses and the handbags, which is funny. Crest on credits, for God's sakes.
Okay, so first it starts out with this really weird jib jab kind of animated thing where they just take the actors' heads and place it on really, really bad animated stuff. And it goes on for 5 minutes.
Did we already say that was where the budget ran out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, it's awful. And then we cut to, in the middle of the credits, Rainn Wilson has finally had sex with that bartender. And she says,
I totally agree, but say what you will, that was a post-credit scene in a superhero flick before Iron Man became famous for doing it 2 years later.
Yes.
There you go, folks. That is my super ex-girlfriend for this week. We took it out and played with it a lot longer than we should have. Can we flush it, ladies and gentlemen? Can we please flush it?
Take it out to orbit with that Dodge, whatever it was.
Charger.
It's flush you.
There you go, sailing with the wind. Consider flush. Woo! That is it for this week. I want to thank my lovely co-cinematic flushers, Midwest movie mogul Colleen Griffin, Raging Buddha Bee movie queen Nora Crest, and sassy cinephile Sarah Polton. Single. She's still single. Great job as always, ladies. I think our very special guest, the incredibly intelligent and articulate Jay Sandlin, who fits in amazingly too well with our shit here in the restroom. Jay, you did a great job tonight.
You guys are so impressive. This rapport, and you are so fast thinking on your feet, and I'm thinking, I really wish I had skipped the pub crawl.
Folks, if you're out there listening, thenovelcomics.com, go check out his shit over there, and he's got his comic and thing coming out. And
all right, so I don't know what day it is that they're listening to this. The trailers are out, and the color cover is going to be tweeted by the time this comes out too.
Excellent. So, folks, please go check out his work. He does great stuff. Jay, I hope you're going to come back and join us again for
you guys just tell me when. I'll be here.
We're going to be back next week to torture you with something else. Until then, say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
We're always waiting for each other. We're all just waiting.
I know. So,
Bye.
Embarrassing. And I forget it.
Hi, this is Nora Crest, and I want to thank you for listening this week and every week as we flush these turds down our cinematic bowl here in the restroom. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play Music so we attract more listeners and you don't miss a single episode. We love feedback, so email us at signalsoffury@gmail.com with your comments and suggestions for future flushes. Also, be sure to check out our home restroom on the net, signalsoffury.com. Until next time, remember, we're here to flush it so you don't have to see it. I'm Nora Crest, and this has been the award-winning Soiled Restroom Cinema.